Hello, how is everybody tonight? Thank y'all for being here and hanging out. I appreciate it. Let me see who I got with me here so far, and we'll dive into some topics tonight. Who have I got with me here? I got Tony here tonight. We got my boy Orc here with us tonight. Michael Sullivan is here. Sick Jim is here. Jess is here. Cable Channel 11. How you doing, Jess? We got Dino here. What's up, Dino? Dark Hawk Mark is here. John George is here with us tonight. Eli Cortez. Dan Shine is in the chat. Unfortunately, he cannot be here with us tonight, but he's here with us in spirit, as always. If you squint, you'll see the hat just floating. That's the spirit of Dan. We have got Cartoon Discoot is here. What's up? Justin Brown is here. Recently Beheaded, I like that name, is here with us tonight. Hillbilly Tech. Axeman is the bomb. Sledge the Clown. Great meeting you at CreepyCon. Yeah, hey, man. Yeah, it was great meeting you, too. Yeah, good meeting you, too, man. Dylan is here with us. Husker is here with us. And Brent Madison is here with us. How you fellas doing tonight? Hope you all are good. Before I bring on my panel, I have a brief message here from the fine folks over at retrocryptco.com.
It's time once again for the Retrocrypt Samhain sale. Experience spooky savings that will send a shiver down your spine. Like these shirts from the Halloween Shirt Company, Creepsville 666, and more. We also have purses, socks, and other accessories that will make your blood run cold. As well as masks, toys, and creepy curiosities that will get under your skin. All at 13 to 31% off from October 13th to the 31st. Don't miss out. Get to www.retrocrypto.com before it's too late.
All right, don't forget the Samhain sale over at retrocryptco.com starting October 3rd. All right, let me bring on some folks here and let's dive into some topics. Joining me tonight, I've got the swaggiest man I or any of you know. And that's Swaggy. How you doing, man?
Hey, Pizzow. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. You?
Doing excellent, man. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Been looking forward to it.
It's always a pleasure, Swaggy, because, you know, you always bring the swag, and I'm sure you've got a good moment of swag for us this week, as you always do. So,
yeah, I did a little research. So I think I could go for a minute here and talk about something.
Wow. Okay, so y'all stay tuned. We've got an epic moment of swag for y'all tonight. Stay tuned. But
don't build it up too high, though. I don't want to set that expectation too high. But
no, y'all better stay tuned because this is going to be a good one. Okay,
don't miss.
This is a don't miss moment of swag. But thanks for being here, man. Always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I end up getting that same the retro Jason axe from Halloween. I watched your recent video about that. I bought that same piece. Yeah.
Are you going as retro Jason for Halloween this year?
No, I'm gonna go as the original Invisible Man. You know, which is
so you're gonna like wrap your head up in your hand. Okay,
I'm going with the robe. The glasses with the little flips on the side here, and yeah, true. You're not gonna know it's me. Obviously, you're wrapped up from head to toe, but that's what I'm gonna go with. It's one of my favorite characters.
I like that, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's an old school one, but
that is.
I've always liked
that's
that.
Awesome. Yeah, man. That's all. You better post some pictures so we can see you as the Invisible Man.
Oh yeah.
All right,
hopefully you'll have a stream or something where everybody can dress up.
Perhaps we will. Also joining me tonight, we have got legalized lawn darts.
Well, why would they be illegal, really? I know they are.
Lawn darts are illegal?
Yeah, you can own them, you can play them, but you cannot sell them, you cannot transport them, and you can't sell them.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's one of those ridiculous legacy laws that was passed in the late 80s, and it makes no sense. Like you can buy a car and run people over, you can own firearms, but lawn darts are just too dangerous.
I don't. That's crazy. I don't recall seeing lawn darts in stores in a very long time.
Yeah, it's literally been decades. I mean, there's jarts which don't have any sharp ends, but what's the point of that?
That might have been what I've seen. I don't. That is so weird. What a weird. Wow. Jeez, crazy. But have you been, Lauren?
So this week I both saw my favorite film of the year, probably, and I broke a toe.
Oh, okay.
Not at the same time.
So it was the best of, with the good comes the bad.
It's funny because I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I misjudged the door. So I just caught just my little toe on the door, and it went about 90 degrees in the wrong direction and made it sound like two drumsticks hitting. It hurt, but I was just like, I said a few choice words and I went about my business, went back to bed. By the time I woke up, it was throbbing visibly. And now it's very purple. It's very purple. Purple
and they can't really do anything for a broken toe like
I didn't
that.
even bother going because they're just going to tape it to the next toe.
Yeah. My mother, the same thing happened to her when I was a kid. Same toe, and I remember seeing it hanging off of her foot, like I've had like this enormous fear of stumping my toes ever since. And the few times that it's happened, I always just immediately think, oh God, it's broken, something's broken, But yeah, she did it twice on the same toe.
Yeah.
And the first time she went to the hospital and all they did was tape it up. And the second time she was like, screw it, just give me drugs.
Well, I don't take anything, so.
Well, like ibuprofen, but
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, here in Jersey we have some leaves changing on some trees, and other trees seem happily to think it's still summer. So the fall spirit hasn't really descended yet. Today was actually a warm day in the 80s, so it's kind of hard to really jumpstart the season here. Trying though.
Yeah. That's kind of how it is here in Kentucky. I'm not sure how it is. It's probably the same in Georgia where you are, Swaggy. Some trees have accepted the fall season. Other trees are hanging on. We'll have a very fall feeling day. Like yesterday, it was kind of cool and rainy and overcast, and then today it's hot and sunny, and it's like, don't know what it's gonna do. So, but well, anyway, let's. I think we may have one or two other people joining us before the night is through. But Lauren, you said you saw your favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere for me. I see a lot of international cinema and a lot of Indian cinema in particular, but this year, actually, my favorite film of the year up to now was Jenny Penn, which I just thought was fantastic misery porn film that I didn't think was going to be beat. And a lot of times, like those late January, early February surprises do carry through the year for me. I don't lose sight of them. And I really didn't think anything was going to get there. There's some action films that came out that I thought were pretty tremendous, but Jenny Penn was just holding on. So last week, checking the listings, I saw Vosh Level 2, a sequel to the film Vosh. And the original Vosh I like, but it was remade the next year as Shaitan, which was my favorite film of that year. But this is a sequel to the original film, not the thing that I thought was the best thing of the year. So I went in with tempered expectations. It hadn't been on my radar at all. And holy shit, it is like the most intense, one of the 5 most intense films I've ever seen.
This is horror?
Absolutely. So the original, both Vosh and Satan, because they're very similar, one is just a better presentation of it, are about a family that runs afoul of they accidentally invite a practitioner of black magic into their house, and he takes control of their teenage daughter and just makes her do insanely violent things and chaotic things. The sequel takes it a step further when his younger brother, the younger brother of the dark magician, takes over an entire girls' school and just releases the girls on the city.
Oh, wow.
And it's like an infected people movie in some ways.
Yeah.
So it has, some parts of it have zombie vibes, although they're living schoolgirls who are pounding people's heads into pavement. And the thing is, like, the cops are not all armed. So it's not as simple as it would be here. But the main story is about the protagonist of the first film who has something that the magician wants, but also wants something from the magician. So it's about these two characters that go kind of at loggerheads with each other. And it's surprisingly smart. And it also has one of those endings that, while surprising, isn't a cheat. It's all there. It's not a twist. Because I kind of hate some twists. Like I love The Usual Suspects as a film, but I kind of think the ending is the least good part of it. Because if you think about it, like they could have had any set of flashbacks and said anyone was Kaiser Soze, and it would have the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing really in the movie that forced them to, because it's an unreliable narrator, right? They could have just said whatever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like this. This sets things up very subtly to pay off, but it does so in a way it's not hiding it. Everything's on screen. Everything's, once you know, is obvious. It's just not giving you the context. So front to back, I have very few films I consider an A plus. Last Level 2 is an A plus. It's one of those rare sequels that is way better than the original, and it's already pretty much out of American theater, so you're gonna have to wait for streaming on it if you do decide to go to it. But well worth it. Just really, really cool.
It kind of sounds like what's the movie, the Italian movie where the people get off the plane and they're infected with like some sort of rage virus and they just start killing everybody. What was that called? Something Nightmare?
Nightmare City or
Nightmare
Walking Dead. It's the Umberto Lenzi film.
Yes, that's a great movie. I can vouch for that one. If you've not seen that, check it out.
This is a lot less goofy than but yeah, no, I love the Lenzi film, and that film also has a great score. No one ever puts it up there with the great Italian, rock disco themes, and it deserves to be there.
Okay, cool.
But Vosh Level 2. I always feel like no one's ever going to listen to my advice and actually watch these things, but it's like it is so frigging good. It's ridiculous. You're
getting the word out at least.
Well, I try, and that's the thing. Like some people say, "Well, you realize they're just going to go see the Conjuring thing, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, but if that's all we're settling for is, another celebration of the fraudsters, the Warrens, I don't know, with a bunch of jump scares, great. I never seen that again. No.
Did you? Okay, Swaggy, have you seen anything good lately? Did you go watch the latest Conjuring movie?
No, I don't really have any interest in that. I'll wait until it's on TV or something like that. But I'm trying to think if I've seen the stuff that I've seen that's good is older. But the newest movie that I've seen is Dangerous Animals. I watched that on Shudder.
What'd you think?
I mean, I didn't really have high hopes going into it. I guess it's neat that they had a killer who uses sharks as his weapon. But after I got done with it, it was like, yeah, okay, that was all right. But I really, looking back, I can't really remember anything that really stood out about it.
The only thing that really, without, like, Jack Courtney was that movie for me. Like his performance was that movie. Without him in it, I mean, I don't think it would have. Like I liked it. I agree. It's kind of, I probably will never watch it again. But Jack Courtney made it entertaining.
Yeah, I did on Tubi. I did watch a vampire movie I've never seen before. Innocent Blood.
Oh, I like that movie. Yeah,
John
that's a good
Landis. One. Yeah, I don't know how that one was never on my radar. Never heard of that one.
It's kind of flown under the radar. It came and went really quickly back in the day, and it used to be on like HBO and Cinemax every night. It seemed like when I was a kid. So, yeah, but I liked. I think it's an underrated vampire movie.
It gives you something different, which I do like that, because you feel like after a while you've kind of seen it all.
Right.
And which I think that was early 90s, 91.
It was early 90s. Yeah. Looks like Tony's here just to troll. Come on, Tony. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Yeah. Lauren, have you seen anything else good you want to throw out there?
I haven't been to a lot of movies recently, and I've been trying to catch up on all the Jean Roland 4K releases that I've bought this year that I haven't actually sat down and watched in entirety. So those really don't count. I just watched The Escapees the other night, and it's not a horror film. It's still not a horror film, but it still looks like a horror film. I did see War 2, which was a great little action film if you like foreign action films, and with a lot of just crazy nonsense that I just love. But no, I mean, to be honest with you, I've been really busy. Work is kind of crazy. There's some stuff gearing up on the book front, so there's just not been a lot of time. And feeding cats.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. I can definitely understand that. Yeah. I did. Speaking of like something that I hoped would have been like silly and over the top and fun. I did watch Megan 2.0 the other night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And yeah, it was like I was shocked at like how boring it was. Like you've brought Megan into this like T2 world where now she's the good robot against a more evil robot, and like the whole movie builds to them two fighting, and the fight is like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, nothing. And they like try to throw in like, you know, her redemption arc, a robot's redemption arc. And like there's all this talk of, you know, what it means to be a parent, and I'm like, and it's Megan who's trying to teach this woman how to be a good parent. A robot is teaching this woman. It blew my mind. Like I totally understood why it flopped, and it was great. I was shocked by like how boring it was, to be honest. I also saw Night of the Reaper, which has gotten a lot of buzz recently. It's on Shudder, and my Letterboxd review of that one was one sentence, more like Night of the Put Me to Sleeper, because that one was really boring too.
Piz, I started to watch that movie, and it's pretty rare that I turn off a movie, but I was like, maybe I was just really tired, but I couldn't even finish it, and I don't plan on going back to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch Strange Harvest. I've heard really good things about that one. Did you catch that one, Lauren?
I haven't. I saw the trailer months ago in the theater, which apparently it had a small theatrical run.
Very, very small.
I couldn't decide whether I was intrigued by it or if it looked really cheap. I couldn't decide.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like it kind of looks like a little bit of the Poughkeepsie tapes with a mock true crime documentary thrown in. I don't know. Dan liked it a lot. I've heard some pretty positive things about it, so I'm going to try and get around to watching that one pretty soon. That's about the only newer stuff that I've watched recently, but.
Isn't it weird how at the moment we seem to be like there's product out there, but a lot of it is just seeming to be, I don't know, it's not must watch. Nothing is screaming to me that I have to run towards things.
Yeah. I'm kind of I mean, maybe that's why this new Conjuring movie has done so well, because if you remember, the last Conjuring movie really didn't do that well, and people were crapping on it, and
it's a bad
deservedly
film.
So, because it was bad. But so like I was really surprised to see that not only were they doing another one, but like it's been such an enormous success at the box office that of course there will be more. There's going to be more Insidious movies now. There's going to be more Annabelle movies now. There's going to be more they've like completely reopened that Pandora's box of the Conjuring universe now. So all those movies are going to be coming out again. I don't know. I liked the first two Conjuring movies, but aside from the first one, which I rewatched one time, I've never wanted to rewatch the second one. And I rewatched the first one once, and I've never touched it since. So
yeah, that's probably the way to go with those movies. I tepidly liked the first film the first time I saw it until the exorcism scene at the end, which I thought was just utterly horrible. But I thought the film up to that was fine. The second film I really don't like because it's a really dishonest film. And again, the jump scares and some of the just abysmal CGI choices are just, but I mean, that's a movie in which characters have to play tapes backwards and at this right speed to get clues and stuff. It's like, no one would do that. And it's not the Exorcist thing. Whereas like, that's just incidental It doesn't move the plot forward in The Exorcist. It's a creepy thing that happens. But in that second Conjuring film, that has to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's too much. There's an entire class of screenwriters out there, and I don't think it's age. I think it's gone across the board now, that write scenes really well, but don't write films very well. And they certainly don't write an act structure properly. And so you take any single scene from a Conjuring movie and just play it on its own as a 3-minute clip, and you'll be like, that looks like a great horror film. But when you watch them, they just wash over you as like, I don't know, uninspired, boring. I don't know. I don't think any of those films. People always talk about the second Annabelle film. I remember when I saw Annabelle, Rebirth. What was that called? Birth.
I don't even remember
something. I remember thinking, well, that's clearly superior to everything that's come before. I saw like, I guess maybe 10 minutes of it recently, and I was like, wow, it's kind of the same damn thing. It's maybe a slight bit better, but that whole period of Blum is just not compelling to me at all. I mean, Blum is not compelling to me at all unless they buy something at market. But that period in particular is really offensively boring to me.
Yeah. We got the tallest Chris in the chat. Sorry I couldn't join tonight, feeling under the weather. Well, we hope you get to feeling better soon, man. Yeah, so you bring up The Exorcist. After I watched Night of the Put Me to Sleeper, I was like, I need a cleanse. So I watched The Exorcist III. So that was a good cleanse.
That movie is a great example of what I always say. Like, we get all precious about director's cuts versus like studio interference. And I love William Peter Blatty, okay? But thank God Morgan Creek got their hands all over that movie.
I agree.
Let's be real. I mean, there's times when the studios say, nope, we're missing the boat. Let's fix it. And they might not always have the right answer in every case. Event Horizon was kind of crippled, the film that it could have been to the film it turned out to be. But for every one of those, you get an Exorcist 3, which, can you imagine Exorcist 3 without that ending? Can you imagine Exorcist 3 without Brad Dourif's speeches? You almost got it.
Yeah. You almost got it. Yeah. And that's one of the rare cases where it's like, and I love Blatty too, but like he was wrong. The studio was right. And like that, the theatrical cut is a better movie.
The only thing that they did screw up about that film for him is that he wanted to pay out the Thomas Kintry through line, which is why the boy shows up at the end when he comes out. That was going to be played out, and we were going to understand a little bit more, which is in the novel, but it's very softly in the novel. And the studio just didn't think it was important, which is why it's so weird that the movie opens with a pan across the Georgetown streets, and Thomas is standing out at a corner holding a red rose, and the red rose is a reference to something in the original Exorcist novel that's not in the Friedkin's movie. And it was Blatty's intention to finally pay that out because it was something that he felt was missing from the first film. And the studio didn't let him do it. And I really wish they had, because it's just one of those cool moments, and there's just traces of it still in the movie. That's frustrating.
Yeah. It's also frustrating too that like that movie, the people who've seen that movie love it, but it just seems like it doesn't get the flowers it deserves. Like even with like, the Blu-ray release and the director's cut out there, and there's a lot more sort of awareness of it, but it's like, I don't know, I think people are maybe hung up on, well, The Exorcist 2 sucked and these new Exorcist movies all suck. What's this?
But do you think that, I mean, it is a very literary film.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what we don't want to admit, because I think The Exorcist, the original Exorcist, Friedkin's film, is such a visceral experience. And it's intelligent, don't get me wrong, but it's more than that, it's a visceral experience. I always say, like, when I think of The Exorcist, I don't think about the head spin. I certainly don't think about the spider walk. None of that shit. You know what I think of? I think of Damien Karras having to cup his hands over his face, and you can see his breath just because he's in a room with that demon. It's that stuff. that is so real to me and works. And Exorcist 3 does none of that stuff. It's kind of a intellectual horror film, and it's less concerned about the skin crawly stuff. So I think maybe the audience just wants a little bit more of that visceral stuff.
Yeah. What's up, Not JPEG? Welcome. Thank you for being here. And what's up, Chris? How are you, sir? The lawn dart a ball.
They're dangerous, dude.
They are.
I have a collection of them in my garage. Come and get them out of my cold, dead lawn game hands.
So we have a supporter of the lawn dart ban versus a, someone who wants to free the lawn darts. Yeah. Lord have mercy.
Goddamn communist over there.
There you are. Yeah. Oh, how you doing tonight, Chris?
Good. I got a new computer, man, and my camera is all funky.
It looks good.
It's too far out for me.
Oh, okay. But it looks good. The quality's good. The color looks good. It's sharp. It looks good.
Nice.
So you're up in your game right before Halloween. Does that mean we're going to be getting a lot of videos from you for the spooky season?
Well, one comes out tonight at midnight.
Oh, midnight. Okay. I thought I said 1, but okay, midnight.
Well, it depends on your time zone.
Okay.
Midnight Central time, whatever that is.
Oh, Central. That's right. I forget that Kentucky is separated. At one point, you go into Central time from Eastern.
We're on
time.
that other side.
Yeah, I know.
I do see now more of your room. I'm scanning that background.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. Because this is just like this is a curtain covering a window, and it's supposed to be cut off, like where all you see is the cool ghoulies blanket. But now you can see my shame.
Well, I mean that is a sweet ghoulies blanket. That's a sweet ghoulies blanket. Okay, Not JPEG, ask us a question. Oh, well, here it is. When did Marvel Zombies become a thing? I think I literally just learned about that yesterday, and I have no idea. I just heard people talking about Marvel Zombies. Does anybody have any idea?
I think it was the 90s.
Early 2000s, I think. So very close to that, though, yeah.
So are they bringing that back?
I think it's always been a thing off and on. I'm not like a comic book, like anything, but just through secondhand knowledge, I'm pretty sure it's like a Marvel What If kind of thing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me, but I think it's just like a thing they occasionally do for fun or something.
Okay, so like the superheroes have become zombies.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's the same comic book creator of like the Kingsman and Wanted. I forget that gentleman's name now. But he's had a good amount of hits and stuff like that. But that was one of his earlier works.
Okay. After
Cartoon
walking
says 05.
Okay. Well, let's dive into a couple of interesting topics that popped up recently. In news that nobody could have ever possibly seen coming. Kenan Thompson from Kenan and Kel and from Saturday Night Live is producing a Sleepaway Camp reimagining with the original writer and director back to write and direct, I assume. And at first I thought that's like a weird meme that can't be real, but no, it's real. And immediately, of course, I thought of the last Halloween trilogy when you bring comedians into horror and how just perfect those movies were, each one. So I don't know. Sleepaway Camp. I think it was not long ago on a live stream. Somebody was asking about like a Sleepaway Camp remake, and I was like, yeah, they're not going to make that kind of movie these days. That's not going to happen, or it's going to be very much reimagined. And then like here it's happening. And I'm sure they're probably in the early stages of this thing. So, but still, like what a wild, like that they're reimagining Sleepaway Camp and that Kenan Thompson is producing it. thoughts, feelings? How do you guys feel about a Sleepaway Camp reimagining, and how on earth can they reimagine that? You kind of, that's probably the most shocking ending in horror movie history, honestly.
Well, they've got to change it, right?
Well, they got to do something different. Like,
and then what's the point?
So, yeah, like how can they top that? Are they just going to make the penis bigger? Is it going to be like is it going to be like 28 years later? You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's obviously capitalizing. Anytime you do a remake or reimagining, you're capitalizing on the name of it. But like Chris just said, how do you top that? I could see having raunchy characters, creepy stuff like that. If you could get away with that dirty humor, that would be nice. But then it's just pretty much like a slasher.
I feel like it's gonna be extremely like tame, probably. I don't think it's gonna be what the original movie was at all. I just don't. It's just not.
I don't see that happen because, get beyond the fact that Angela was who Angela was at the end, or well, throughout the whole movie, but who we discovered at the end. Like, a lot of that dialogue and a lot of the interchanges between the characters is not PC at all. So, like, how are they gonna? I don't know. It's just it's baffling.
If you're
Grimm, though, that casting choice is.
Oh my God, Ben
Davidson, baby.
Ben, you need to write this thing.
After the home, he can just not exist. It's fine.
Lauren, try and make sense of this Sleepaway Camp reimagining.
So what I don't really get is, like, we talk about remakes of things like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, right? These don't belong to the horror community. These titles are bigger than that. They belong to culture in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows what even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because just as longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Sleepaway Camp is really familiar territory to horror fans inside the insular horror community. I don't think it crosses over into the mainstream very far at all.
Well, where's this thing coming out? Because like they just remade Slumber Party Massacre. It went straight to sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a major theatrical release, or is it gonna be something more like that?
I mean, I would assume I don't know. I think we're really early in the development of it. But that's a good question. I mean, that movie just doesn't have the cachet of even, there's a reason why it wasn't remade in the early 2000s. But
and it can work, but it has to be attached to, like, My Bloody Valentine doesn't belong to the mass culture either. But that remake was very popular.
Mm-hmm.
It was
but
marketing.
The different, well,
the marketing was really good on that.
The marketing was really good. The 3D boom, it beat Avatar out. There was a lot of momentum that had nothing to do with the title at that time. This is different though, for one big fundamental reason. Because you're a little bit different than most horror fans. I'd say that with love and affection.
Okay.
No one talks about anything about Sleepaway Camp except for the final still frame.
Right.
Period.
Right.
We can pretend we care. Okay. That's great. Virtue signal all you want all day long. That's all anyone really talks about in that movie. The rest of it is just a standard slasher of the period that's no worse or no better probably than most of its contemporaries.
It has its moments, though.
Sure, whatever. But can't you say that about the Prowler? It has its moments.
But like I love the Prowler too. Like I love them all.
Cool.
But I understand. Like when people think Sleepaway Camp, it's that image of Angela at the end.
Yeah,
and a lot of people say that's the only good thing about that movie. I totally disagree, but that is the image of Sleepaway Camp to 99% of horror fans.
Dialogue like that.
Especially at that time.
No.
That was a big deal. Obviously I wasn't around for that, but
I just think that I would actually disagree with that. Like that we were in a much more transition. That was a time in cinema where a lot more challenging things were putting on screen than now. That period from 1973 to 1984 or so, there was much more brave things happening in cinema than there are today, period. I don't think you get a film like The French Connection happening today. Let's be real, right? And down to the slasher films. Like today's slasher films have to be couched in very carefully in how they're presented. I mean, to the point where it's like everyone kind of liked Thanksgiving when it came out. When's the last time you talked about Thanksgiving with anyone?
Last Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Well, I was actually having a conversation with Jeremy about it the other day because he's like, Thanksgiving 2 coming out this Thanksgiving. And I was like, I guess it still is. I don't know.
So where I'm going with all this is just like, I don't really get why you just don't create a new slasher film with your own. You can set it at a summer camp. God knows it's been done before. It could be done again, and it could be done really well. I'm just not sure what's gained by calling this thing Sleepaway Camp, unless you make an actual like legitimate remake, and in that case, you're going to fail compared to the original. So it's kind of a lost cause.
That's just what they do now, though.
I get it. I'm just criticizing the whole approach. Just create a new thing.
100%.
I think it would get probably just as much attention in the horror community if it was like, hey, Robert Hiltzik is doing a new slasher and Kenan Thompson's producing it. I mean, you wouldn't have that visceral like Sleepaway Camp reimagining, but there'd still be some excitement because it's Robert Hiltzik who did Sleepaway Camp. We'll ignore Return to Sleepaway Camp. We'll just pretend like that didn't happen.
It also, to a lesser extent, has that problem that the Nightmare on Elm Street thing had, right? So you're going to remake Nightmare on Elm Street. So which Nightmare on Elm Street are you remaking? Are you remaking the first film, legitimately scary ghost story? Are you remaking the second film, offbeat political commentary wrapped inside a postmodern slasher film? Or are you making a horror comedy like 4 through 85? So
I think they're going to remake Sleepaway Camp 3.
Well, but there's going to be people who want that, right?
I'd watch that.
Oh yeah.
So it becomes a situation where who of the people who this title means anything to are going to be satisfied with it. I don't know. Right. Isn't it easier just to make your own thing with its own tone, its own characters? Take the transgressive attitude of Sleepaway Camp and do something original.
But their reasoning is that it doesn't have that like guaranteed ticket sales from the name. That's all they care about. I'm
not sure it really actually has. I think again, you cut a really great trailer. You write a great screenplay to start. You hire someone with a visual eye to be your director of photography. You get a director who knows how to manage people, because that's what a director's job actually is. They're more management than they are art in most cases. Not like a Kubrick, but in most cases, they manage people who do their jobs really well. That's why they're called a director. And you cut an amazing trailer, and you'll sell a film on that way better than just on the name Sleepaway Camp.
I agree with you. It's just I don't have any hope in them to do shit like that because they don't anymore. It's
right.
You know, I'm giving up on it.
We agree. Ultimately,
I used to get mad when I heard about remakes. I used to get mad. I don't anymore. I don't care. I'm like so
more
over
sacred
it.
Territory, right? What can they remake that's going to piss you off at this point? Jaws? You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
Like,
yeah.
Because I just won't even be surprised. I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised they haven't remade Goonies yet.
What is being gaslit here? I don't understand. Goonies? Well, they are remaking Goonies according to Corey Feldman.
Well,
or it's like a sequel maybe where like the him and Sean Astin are going to be back, and
he's putting that out there for sure. So maybe it'll happen.
like their kids are the new Goonies at least. And Corey Feldman, if you can't trust Corey Feldman, who can you trust? So yeah, so I don't know. It was very interesting news that got a lot of attention, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens, what comes of it. The slasher thing today, that was one of the things I really hated about Night of the Reaper was it was like the most sanitized, teen oriented, like there was some blood and gore in it, but it was like you know, it was just, it wasn't my kind of slasher. And I think, unfortunately, my kind of slasher is not the kind of slashers they really make anymore. You know, the Terrifier stuff is fun for the most part. You know, it maybe gets a little too over the top. Occasionally there's a good one that comes along, but like the ones that sort of get the more or less mainstream treatment are just like, again, sanitized, watered down, you know, for the teen audience. And
or they're trying so hard to evoke something that it loses the importance of that thing, like that Friday 13th apple juice commercial.
Well, that's the problem, is that they're not creating things anymore. They are imitating things. Yeah. And that's you can't reproduce something and have it come out authentic. You can take bits and pieces and create your own thing with that stuff in mind or whatever. So, but if you're just trying to replicate something, it's almost always gonna fail.
It's kind of like all those bands that try and sound like an early 80s new wave band, and they sound like a today band trying to be an early 80s new wave band, not like a legitimate new wave band from 1982. It's the same thing. You can get all the beats right, but the authenticity is a matter of like it's a matter of the texture, it's a matter of the mood, it's the fashion of the day. You can't reproduce fashion truthfully. You can just evoke it, right? Mm-hmm. So I just don't get the point. Like, I'm not saying you can't make a film about a guy that loves knives and doesn't like teenagers. You can make that movie. But just try and make something that's appropriate for today, because trying to do retro is not going to work. It never is going to work. It's never real. People might talk about it as, oh, that was refreshing. But again, 2 months later, it'll never be evoked again. No one will say the name of the movie until on a stream someone brings it up as a joke.
Well, that's like a problem now with a lot of things I noticed, and I don't know why, but I think about, like, there are so many legitimately good movies that have come out and nobody ever talks about them again. One, it's Dark Harvest that came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
I love that movie.
It's an amazing movie, and I feel like if it had came out in the 90s or the 80s, people would still be talking about it. But since it's new, it's like, it's just, I guess, the society we live in now or something, where everything is just like in and out. I don't know. I just know that, like, I see that all the time, and it feels like critical acclaim or whatever is like almost dead with most things. You've got to like love it. Like, I can go back and watch Dark Harvest every year, and it'll become important to me. But that like nationwide, like, holding on to things is like gone. If that makes sense. I don't know if
I think it's because there's just such an overabundance of content that when something goes on a streamer, it just kind of gets swallowed up. And even if somebody watched that movie and really liked it, they probably watched another movie right after and thought it was just as good and forgot about it. And then like, it's, oh, well, I saw it. It was good. But, oh, this other one, I don't know. There's just so much content out there that a lot of movies just get swallowed up in the streamers. Oh, by the way, the prices of your streaming services are going up again. So if you're at Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN, it's all going up again, like $2 at least. That's happening, I think, October 1st, maybe. So it's happening soon. So, but yeah, I totally agree with you on Dark Harvest. I really love that movie. And I think I've only heard maybe one or two other people even say, like, mention it, but they mention it like with great, appreciation toward it.
Read the novels based on by Norman Partridge. It goes further.
No.
Yeah, Piss, I think you and Chris are right. We're in such a time now where the content, there's a popular movie, you talk about it for a week, and then you move on to the next thing. Even if it's bad, you talk about that movie, about how bad it was, and then something new will come out. With streaming shows, as soon as one ends, there's one right after it that's picking up. So it's easy. I mean, that's just kind of the way how it is now. With, back in the 80s and, the 90s, that that production didn't come out like that. So it was a big deal. I feel like, especially like going to the movies. I mean, you just sit at home and you have an unlimited almost supply of movies to choose from.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like if Sleepaway Camp, the original Sleepaway Camp came out today, it wouldn't go to theaters. The Prowler wouldn't go to theaters. Friday the 13th might not have gone to theaters if it came out today. All that would be like thrown onto a streamer.
A lot of those, Phantasm, same way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would for sure.
I had a thought, like, what's that gonna do? Like, what's gonna be like this generation's like Exorcist and The Shining and stuff? Like, are they even gonna have that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think probably what I guess it would be Terrifier, would be this generation's Halloween, or like the last generation Scream, or like my mother's generation, it was Halloween.
That's true, but like what I mean is like because Terrifier, I'm not trying to take away from it, I think you're right, but I think that might even just be an exception, because like take Exorcist, like the movie that like changed stuff, and Scream, and like, you know, just pulling like names, like even outside of the horror genre, just movies that are household names that everybody knows about. Are movies getting made like that right now?
Oh,
or are people attaching to movies in that way now, to where in the future is there just gonna like be a point where like history of films and stuff and reverence for them stops? Is what I'm saying making sense?
No, it does. It does. I don't know what kind of movie they could make today that would be a big game changer, like The Exorcist or Jaws, or even something like Halloween. I don't know.
Or like Forrest Gump, like even outside of the horror genre. I'm talking about like the film industry as a whole.
So
where it's just like, it feels like everything now is like getting like churned out, talked about for a week and thrown away. What is being made now that'll stand the test of time?
Well, I mean, movies today are products.
Yeah.
They're not intended necessarily to have cultural reverence. It's a product like a Pepsi or a Coke, make it look good, and you go and you buy it, you know what I mean? Or it's product.
I think it might be worse than that. I think everything is made for children.
Everything. Kind of, because the like common conception now is that everybody has the like skin of a child. They can't take anything. You can't push any boundaries. You can't take any risks. Everything has to be safe, or somebody's going to complain, and we're going to lose stocks. Like, that's what everything is now. You know what I'm saying?
We just went through a wave over the last 15 years or so where the landscape of the biggest movies in the world were dominated by things like Pirates of the Caribbean, the Transformers, the Marvel shit. Those are kids' titles. Those are legitimately children's films. Okay? But they were marketed as mainstream entertainment for adults. That's a really dangerous path to go if you really want art. And I don't mean art in some kind of like painting on a wall sort of way. Commercial art can be commercial art. But if you look at a film like the original Friday the 13th, and I'm just using that as an example because I think we all adore the film, right? There's a lot of legitimate art in the original Friday the 13th. There really is. Now it's art out of necessity. It's not high art, but there's a lot there. And that's not a film that you would, I mean, people can show it to their children. I don't object, but it's not for children. And it doesn't feel like a child's film. But flash forward to more recently, and you get to something like Heart Eyes. That's a film for children. It has the mentality of a 13-year-old. It's safe. It has to deflate any tension with stupid jokes, the same way Marvel movies do. It's a film for children. Just what? Because there's
it's a comedy.
little bit of gore and some slasher stuff in it. Yeah, the genre doesn't matter to what I'm talking about. There was a adult comedies used to exist too.
Yeah, we don't get those anymore.
Yeah. Nothing.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that that is all that play it safe mentality coming through. Because like I think about this a lot, where it's like there's a cutoff point, like in the 2000s, where that stuff started, and like there's just it's not art anymore. It is a product. It's like really depressing. Like you can still find it, but it gets smaller and smaller. It seems like every year, and like I don't know.
And my caveat is that this is an American problem. Watch a French import. Watch a film from Turkey. There was the Seventh Session film came out for public consumption in America on streaming this year. Brilliant freaking horror film for adults. No one cares. But it's an American problem. We eat up shit like the Conjuring universe with a spoon. We make it make a lot of money, and we get more of it. We get Megan 2. That's what we get.
Well, that's the thing I was saying about the comedy thing. It's like it's not necessarily made for children. It's just that everything has to be layered in comedy, so that they're basically telling the audience, like, we're just doing this.
What level is that comedy?
For fun, okay? We're not trying to offend you. And it's like it's protected by this shield of all. This is just tongue in cheek. You know what I'm saying?
But even there, it's like, would you see adult humor in those films? No, it's always stupid shit. Like a character, something violent happens, and a character says, "Well, that happened."
Right.
It's for children. It's literally for children.
I do want to bring this up, and I don't want to speak for you, Lauren, but I don't think Lauren was saying that the movie didn't have other memorable scenes. It's just the fact that that ending is so shocking that that's usually the thing that people think of. That's like and I mean, I think that's probably the most significant thing about that movie is the ending. I don't think he was saying that that's the only significant thing about the movie.
Yeah, no. If you ask the average casual horror fan, the person that doesn't watch streams about horror, that's all they know about the movie. That's all they remember. And we should just be honest about that. That's fine. You know.
Shout out to the cosplayer formerly known as Toronto Freddy for the $2 Canadian. I think it's a serious dick movie. 28 years later, you're talking about, right? Thank you, Kella. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Lauren. I'm sorry.
No, you know that, and this is the wrong audience to make a comment using something like Sleepaway Camp being remade as a war cry. Because of course, this is the audience that's going to love the original Sleepaway Camp and even the sequels. My only point is that if they think that that's a reliable audience that's sizable enough that it's worth making a film, just to trade on that, I think they're making a huge mistake.
Yeah, he's saying that we all understand Sleepaway Camp is dope, but think about your mom and your aunt. They don't know. If they know Sleepaway Camp, it's probably just that scene that they remembered seeing that one time.
Or even the average person who watches the Scream movies in the Conjuring universe, and they don't really go outside the lines. They've never heard the name Lucio Fulci, but they're horror fans. That doesn't mean they're less horror fans than we are because we can name them Berta Lenzi. Who gives a fuck? If they love what they're watching, they're just as much a fans, and there might be bigger fans in their own way. I'm comfortable with that. I don't need to be the biggest fan in the world of anything.
Yeah. Here's a question I want to pose to you, Lauren. Who would be a better Loomis, Ed Harris or Benicio del Toro?
I don't like either of those choices. I'd go with Ed Harris, though. Benicio del Toro is a little bit cartoonish for me for that role. Loomis needs to be a very grounded, insane person.
Right.
John Cena.
I think whenever they eventually get around to rebooting Halloween or reimagining, I just kind of think they should, I don't know, leave Loomis out of it. Bring in like just let Loomis rest. There should only be one Loomis. No disrespect to Malcolm McDowell. There's only one Loomis, and that's Donald Pleasance.
I agree.
Well, what if we're daydreaming? Why don't we just imagine that they just never do it again?
Oh,
that would be better.
I mean, it's going to happen. So what's going to happen is this Halloween video game. Did you guys see the gameplay trailer for the Halloween video game? You all know there's a Halloween video game coming out, right? Well, the gameplay trailer dropped. It looks a lot like Friday the 13th, the game. That game was huge. This game's going to be huge. And there's no legal battle preventing more Halloween stuff from coming out. So I think once this game comes out, it's going to be a big hit. And immediately we're going to hear reboot, reimagining. Maybe the TV series will launch. Who knows?
Is it though? Because I heard the same thing about Evil Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Killer Clowns. I just don't think that asymmetrical video game like skin remade over and over is like working long term. I think everybody might play it for a minute and then just go back to Fortnite or whatever. You know?
I think it depends. I think Friday the 13th, the game at its core was a really, really fun game. If they can recapture that and keep it simple, I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre to me it just seemed a little too complicated. This one looks more like Friday the 13th. So if they can recap and look, those developers kind of have soured people because of how they treated games like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and particularly Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They just upright and abandoned it. But if they can bring half the audience that they had for Friday the 13th to play Halloween, it'll be huge. And I think, the series will take off again. There's no doubt about it. But, you might be right. I mean, I don't know. If the game sucks and it's buggy, it's glitchy, it's just not fun, kind of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then it may, it might go away.
Is it like Halloween film locations and stuff like Friday the 13th was with like Easter eggs and stuff?
You're on the streets of Haddonfield. Well, they only showed the single player component, but like Michael has a lot of the same abilities it looked like that Jason had. Like he can kind of shift around and people can't see him, and he can be in one place and then just pop up in another. But like the whole point was like you're walking the streets of Haddonfield and you have all of these NPC characters around. You basically just pick one out, you stalk them, you stealthily, maneuver around and murder them. And that might get boring after a while, but they're going to have a multiplayer component. They'll have other, they'll have other stuff. And eventually they'll bring skins in. There'll be the Halloween 2 Michael. Laurie will be in there. Loomis will be in there. Probably little Danielle Harris will be in there.
They better bring Freddy along eventually, dude.
Well, they better bring Bucky. If Bucky's not in this game,
yeah.
Screw it. That's what I'm saying. They better have a Bucky skin for sure. But I thought
the preacher from 4, that would be cool.
Yes. like he like flings booze in Michael's eyes and it blinds him.
Just throws Molotovs. That's his specialty.
There you go. It like preaches while he's doing it.
A little Bob Hooch.
Yeah. But I mean, it looked like it had a lot of the same mechanics as Friday the 13th, the game. So I don't know. There's a lot of hype for it online. So, I mean, unless it just comes out and it's a buggy mess, I don't see it not being a hit, at least out the gate. But, that's going to bring, like the TV series, I think that's pretty much dead. They had talked about doing a Halloween TV series. Nothing's materialized there.
We're probably better off.
There's got to be a point where these titles don't have the power anymore. There has to be a point where no one cares anymore. They've diluted it so greatly.
The thing though, like here's the thing. Like every time there's a new, like younger horror fans, like there's a lot of people out there who their favorite Halloween is Halloween 2018. There's a lot of people whose favorite Scream movie is Scream 5, because like this new generation either accepts those characters and that lore or whatever, or they don't. And they accepted Scream, they accepted, you know what I mean, the last Halloween trilogy, and like I've heard, I can't tell you how many people say like their favorite Halloween is 2018 or Kills. Well, so
I think there's also a degree of like they'll always kind of have a little bit of power, because there's a thing with fandom now where like with Star Wars, everybody hates the Star Wars movies that are coming out, but they go to them and then they bitch. And it's more about, I love this thing, so I'm going to bitch about how bad it is now. That's the fandom instead of appreciation of it or liking the movies. It's
and in 20 years,
griping about how bad they are now.
Yeah, and in 20 years, they'll love this incarnation because they'll hate the new one. Because that's what happened with Star Wars. It's what's happened in the horror genre, and inevitably with so many titles over the years, is that people come around to love at a weird sort of nostalgia for what they used to hate. I just don't know if it's healthy for the genre. The one thing is, like, in the 1980s, when the first wave of these slasher films were being made, obviously Halloween has it beat by a few years, but the weird thing is, like, at that point we were 40 years removed from the Universal monsters, right? So we're as far from the original of these last slashers wave as the slashers were from the Universal monsters. They weren't still making very many Universal monster type of movies in the 1980s. They weren't. There was stuff like Monster Squad, but it was being done very tongue-in-cheek. We're so supposed to accept like that the Halloween Friday the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, thing, the Child's Play thing is still relevant, even though logic says we should have moved on to the next thing. And maybe Terrifier is the first of a new wave, but even that feels somewhat retro to that whole aesthetic of that period. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem healthy to me. It doesn't.
It's not, and that goes back to the whole. There was a point in history where film and TV stopped being like art and started being products, like really bad. Like it was slowly like turning into that, but there was a sharp cutoff point, like 2003 or 4, where things became completely controlled by the studios that were making them. They stopped hiring artists to create art, and they started hiring like yes men who could like produce things. Do you know what I'm saying? So the reason that they didn't do that back then is because it was still hands off. We'll let these guys make what they want. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like a product, and they have to apply business models to it.
Yeah,
they can't take risks.
There's a winning formula that they have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why people like Martin Scorsese are making movies for streamers now, because they get creative control. And I mean, unless you're like Christopher Nolan these days, nobody's getting creative control. So but I do the Halloween TV series probably isn't happening, but did you guys hear about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre rights? Those are going to A24 apparently, and Glenn Powell, and they're going to do movies. They're going to do a TV series. First up is allegedly a Texas Chainsaw Massacre TV series. So, we're going to have a Leatherface, a weekly check-in with Leatherface to see who he's eating and who he's carving up,
Well,
and any excitement?
Let me ask y'all, why do they love jumping to the TV series? Is it because it's cheaper than
I have no freaking clue. No, the TV series are crazy expensive. Like those like the Alien Earth episodes are crazy expensive. Like all the Disney Star Wars stuff that they do that are series, like you could make.
So the content,
it's content hours.
It's getting this subscription to the service, so then you watch the show.
But it's bigger than that.
It's the same reason why movies are 3 hours now. It's not about what's best for the story. It's about the streaming watch
numbers.
So there's a profit share with the streaming that is divided down into the amount of the content by minute that is watched. So if you're going to make an Alien movie, you have maybe 125, 120, 230 minutes worth of potential sales from each customer. But you make Alien Earth and you go to a streamer with it. Now suddenly you have like 800.
You tripled it, yeah.
Well, hypothetically, you can make a whole lot more. Now, it does cost more, but then also, let's be real. You sell it to your own parent company. You can write it off there, and then you sell it down the road to other streamers. You're also getting premium streamers involved. So if someone wants to buy it on Amazon Prime, they can. There's just a lot more revenue to be made in a longer form. But artistically, you have to ask yourself, if the goal is to make the thing as long as possible rather than tell the story in beats that make sense, is that good for the art? And of course it isn't.
And that to me was Alien Earth. They did 8 episodes, and just that show to me was like just really bad fan fiction. Like you were talking about, like you can write a good scene but not a good story. Like there were a couple of good scenes here and there, but the overall story is just a mess. I mean, by the end of it, you have a little girl, the consciousness of a little girl transported into the body of a cyborg who has become a xenomorph whisperer. And at the end of the last episode, she has 2 pet xenomorphs. And when she goes, they attack people. She can control them.
So
ridiculous.
I made it through 1 episode and I gave up.
Well,
it was bad. Everyone knows my storied history with the franchise, but like honestly, I'm done. I don't think I'm ever going back. I think it's reached Halloween / Scream territory where I'm just not going back. There's nothing for me now. I love the original film. I love 3. Fuck all the rest of it. I'm done. I'm done.
Well, one of the things that bothers me is that it almost feels sometimes like they don't care about that. Like, because the fact is they got your subscription. Right. You watched it. You hate it now. And you're walking away mad, but they got it. And so now it's on to the next one. And if one ever takes off and becomes a hit, cool. But they can just keep running through these properties, throwing it up there just for the pop. And then when it dies down, it's on to the next one. And it's almost like they don't even care.
Well, they don't, clearly.
That's the worst part.
But to me, like Alien in particular had a patina to it. The original film is in my top 10 films of all time. I think it's as close to a perfect film as we get. Aliens, I loathe that movie for plot reasons, but you know what? I never sat there and didn't say it was top tier entertainment. I just don't like the movie, but I can recognize that it was operating at a very high level, right? I never said the movie is badly made. I never said it was sloppy. I think the screenplay is awful. I think the characters are terrible, but there's a lot to be said for it. Jim Cameron is an uber competent filmmaker. I never was sitting there attacking that. But this is a franchise that they've allowed to go consistently off the rails. Consistently. The first 3 films are what they are, and you can judge them on their own basis as you see fit. That's fine. But you can't take away their credibility as films. But ever since that, starting with Resurrection, which is not nearly the step down that the rest of it tends to be, they've been various degrees of kind of bad. And I like Prometheus and I kind of like Covenant, but they're bad. Prometheus. But they're bad.
I can't say Prometheus is bad. I like Prometheus. I think it might have. I like Prometheus.
Have you watched it recently?
It's been a couple of years at least.
So I used to be a big Defender, and on a recent watch, and by recent I mean probably 8 months ago, it's not the film I quite remember it. Which I think is a problem with a lot of recent stuff. Is you get excited about it, it seems to play, but like I thought Romulus was dire. Alien Earth's 1 hour that I watched was terrible. The Alien versus Predator movies are various levels of terrible. I mean, what are we doing here? Is this this is supposed to be a top tier franchise for film, not even for horror, but for film?
It every week it just like like Swaggy laughed when I said the Xenomorph Whisperer. Like I'm sitting here with like my jaw on the floor going like, what are they doing? What are they thinking? Like you've domesticated a xenomorph, and by the end there's 2.
Think about the
that's a marketing thing. They're gonna make plushies now.
Yeah, well, there's always been alien plushies, but I mean, I guess I guess it kind of plays into it's for kids, you know.
Think about the alien. Yeah, it is. They make films for children. Think about the alien of the first film and the third film in particular, because the second film they're a little bit more disposable. They're kind of like the drones. But if you think about those 2 in particular, think about how formidable, how kind of terrifying that creature is in those 2 films.
Yeah.
To see it reduced to a pet. And I'd argue those Alien versus Predator films almost went that far anyway.
Well, the one did, yeah.
Because by making them something that I'm sorry. I know people love the Predator series, but there is nothing in those first 2 Predator films that suggests that it would survive an attack by the xenomorph. There's nothing there that suggests it. Yeah, it has weapons, but that's all it's got. The alien in the first and third film, and even in much of the second film, they're vicious, they're fast, they're nasty, and they're unpredictable, and they're smart. I don't see it. So I mean, I think that there's for a long time the xenomorphs have been treated like shit by their creators, and it's not.
Oh well, this is the worst. I mean, this is the.
Well, listen.
It's unbelievable.
Always another step down available.
Well, they're already talking about a season 2, so I can't imagine.
I will not watch the hell out of that.
Ben, you've got quite an experience in front of you, but like, don't expect anything to be answered or anything to be wrapped up, or it's just, jeez.
You mentioned before the popularity of Evil Dead being enhanced by a video game.
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting that we are 6 months away from a new Evil Dead movie and no one cares.
I've not heard. I had no idea we're even 6 months away from a new Evil Dead movie.
Exactly.
First I've heard that. Yeah.
Evil Dead burns.
I've not heard a thing. Hold on. Evil Dead Burn. I had no idea it was even called Evil Dead Burns.
That is a legit good franchise. The TV show was good. The movies are good.
I didn't like the last one, but besides that, I think it's solid all the way across.
So it's getting a summer release, expected July 24th, 2026. That's what IMDb says, at least.
I thought it was a little earlier than that, but I mean, they might have moved it since I've been aware. But again, who even in the horror community is talking about this thing? No.
I'm surprised. I've not heard a thing.
There's also an animated Evil Dead film that's apparently like the one after this. So there we go.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's take a moment here and decompress. Let's turn the floor over to Swaggy. Swaggy, you said you've got a solid moment of swag for us today. I know a lot of people out there need it. They need to up their swag game. So Swaggy, the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, thank you, Piz. Everybody, what I got is a simple accessory that every man should carry with you. You can buy it at Walmart. Buy a pack of 3 of them for about $5. The handkerchief. Let's not sleep on the handkerchief. You can use it as the pocket square, or obviously just put it in your pocket for some personal use. But it's such a simple thing, but it can be used in so many different ways. Obviously, someone with Piz, like with Piz with the glasses, you can clean off your glasses. If you got to do a magic trick, you got a handkerchief right here. If it ever gets emotional, if you're ever with somebody and you pull that out and you go, here you go, you got some. You're going in for a win right there. You're pleasing them with that. So, also too, I know it's kind of old school. It kind of reminds you of your grandpa, but there's a reason why people carried those back in the day. And the little research I did was, I think it was back in the Victorian era. That was a time of, if you had a handkerchief, that had some stature to it. So let's not forget about that. You know, a little bit of class goes a long way, and the handkerchief can help you out. Thank you, Piz.
Very nicely done, Swaggy. Very nicely done. Okay, so you got to blow your nose. Okay, you just got to blow your nose. You've got all you've got available is the handkerchief. Do you blow your nose and put it back in your pocket? Do you throw it away? What do you do with it at that point?
Yeah, see, once you blow your nose in it, it's done. You know, okay. You're not going to be handing that to somebody. You're not going to be wiping your eye if something's in there.
But do you put it back in? Do you put it back in your pocket, the snot side down, so at least you've still got, you've still got the look there?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess you could fake it for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, our grandparents were just savages. It's a bad idea. Don't buy a handkerchief.
Hey, there is another use I know of for a handkerchief. If you're like outside working, it's hot, you're wearing a hat, got that bad boy under your hat, you'd be surprised the difference.
Yeah, it could be a cut on your finger. You got to wrap it up. I have to surrender. Wave it with
I'm down with this. These are simple tools like the pocket
you guys are going to
knife
cause the next
that have gone the way of the.
If you get caught on. No, disposable Kleenex is the way to go. That's it. Throw that shit out. Don't
to each their own.
Well, I don't think the handkerchief is meant to blow your nose, right? It's for other things, like Swaggy said. So I support it, Swag. I dig it.
Another great moment of swag with Swaggy. There's been many times where gosh, my glasses are filthy. What am I going? And I have to lift my shirt up, you got to find something to wipe your glasses on. And if I had a handkerchief, I could do that. So,
just spit shine a window.
Yeah, and just imagine
your watch. Yeah.
I want a handkerchief not as much as I want more alien Earth.
But just imagine, okay? You walk up to a lady and you're like, "Oh, do you want to borrow my handkerchief?" I mean, she is yours.
There is no fucking world in which any woman dates any man who's holding a handkerchief in his hand.
I don't know about that.
I disagree, man.
I don't know about that.
I think it's all about how you rock it, dude. If you rock it unconfidently, then yeah, it's gonna come off bad. But if you are confident about it,
I've never been more
handkerchief will become the coolest fucking thing you've ever seen.
State than right now.
Listen, if you've got the aura, if you've got the swag, and you pull that handkerchief out, and you dry your brow, or you wipe your glasses off, women are going to notice that. They're going to go, "That is a distinguished gentleman. I want to jump his bones."
It could be made of silk, cotton.
It's got to be silk. Got to be silk, though.
Various material.
You just made it worse because silk is not going to hold sweat at all, and that was part of the argument.
That's the one that's for show. You've got a second handkerchief that's made of cotton for utility. So
all right, I'm gonna make an official Retrocrypt exclusive handkerchief. We gotta come up with a name for it though, and it needs to involve swag.
Lady repellent. That's the name of it.
The swag rag. The swag rag.
That is it. the swag rag. I love it.
I do
That
too.
Chris, you're gonna be a millionaire very soon.
Genius.
You're gonna be a millionaire very soon. We've got Chris, the tallest Chris. If Sam is nearby, ask her about a handkerchief. Okay, she'll say it just melts the lady's
Don't let me
heart.
down, Sam. This is a step too far even for them.
Oh man,
such a simple thing that just goes so far, you know.
Oh man. Well, listen, dude wipes.
That might be the next one.
Okay, so the swag rag and the Retrocrypt dude wipes. Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
And the man pawn. Throw that in there too.
The man. Oh, geez, we've crossed over. Lord have mercy.
The bandana, that's a good one on there.
All right, take care, y'all. Have a good one. Well, speaking of the Night of the Living Dead 4K, did anybody happen to get their hands on that sucker? No,
I did not. No.
Still rocking the DVD.
Well, that one was apparently extremely limited without anybody knowing that it was extremely limited, which is odd because it wasn't like a boutique release. It was a Sony release, but that thing sold out really quick, and there's been a lot of upset people about it, and it's
So newsflash, people, you can buy the Criterion edition at any Barnes and Noble.
No. This is the Savini Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, that's not a thing.
Yes, it is. It's on 4K Steelbook right now.
You're saying that Criterion hasn't released the Savini film?
Well, they should. Maybe that's who needs to get it now after Sony's kind of.
I'm sure they're making the phone call right now.
Oh, well, I'm sure they should be. That's for sure. Well, Ben Grimm is ready for the swag rag for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that thing sold out. There was a lot of. Were you not aware that the Savini Night of the Living Dead was getting like a 4K Steelbook, Lauren?
No, I'm not a fan of that movie. So.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of people are.
That's cool.
I like it. I like it. I like it enough to have pre-ordered it, and luckily I did it pretty quick because again it sold out super fast. And there was controversy with another limited edition release recently, the Imprint Halloween 1 through 5 steelbook set that comes in the jack-o'-lantern. Like it was limited to, what was it, 2,000 or something like that. And then they came out a couple of weeks later and were like, well, we're going to add 2,000 more. So is it still as limited? Like you didn't lower the price because you added more. The price is still the same. So it's not as limited. But that's the whole thing with like the limited edition thing. Like, is it just a gimmick? Because most of these companies it seems like if there is a huge demand, it's happened before many times where, there's a huge demand for this limited release. And they go, well, here's a few thousand more. We just had them laying around. You know what I mean? So is it just a gimmick? Is it, I know that there's licensing agreements and stuff, but kind of seems like it's more of a gimmick these days, really. And that being limited is sort of, maybe.
Goes along with slip covers and stuff like that. It's just a way to create a sense of rarity so that people feel like they need to buy it.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
What did John Lydon sing in the Sex Pistols? An unlimited supply and there is no reason why. This isn't new. I mean, artificial rarity is a very old gimmick. It just came to physical media as physical media has died in the mainstream. And they know that the people who fetishize it, and there's nothing wrong with fetishizing physical media. I buy too much of it. They realize they got us on the hook. So they're going to bleed us. And unfortunately, these are the people that we should be seeing as heroes, but they're making themselves out to be villains. And that sucks because Imagine if they could cut the pricing down to something reasonable to make a nice product. Maybe not all the bells and whistles. Maybe you don't get die cut embossed covers on your slip covers, and maybe you don't get 7,000 hours of special features that you'll never watch again. But wouldn't it be great if we got the movies looking and sounding great at a reasonable price? Maybe people would actually buy them.
Well, if you are a fan of the Savini Night of the Living Dead, it looks great in 4K. It sounds great. They restored it to its uncensored version, which really, it's just a few seconds of blood splatter, and it's not that big a deal, really.
Well, nothing's different about it, other than
like,
just
you just get to see a little bit of extended blood from the headshots on the zombies. You get to see one zombie's head just explode from a shotgun blast. It was pretty cool. When Patricia Tallman is beating the one zombie in the house with that fireplace poker, she gets it stuck in its head and she kind of wiggles it around before she can pull it out. That was actually kind of cool. But we're talking about just seconds of additional footage, and you get to see Savini wanted the movie to start out in black and white and then transition to color as an homage to the original, and you get to see that, which I didn't think that was like a huge thing. I guess it's kind of cool, but that's really about it. Great extras, though. That thing is just full of extras, new extras, old extras. There's a great commentary on it with Savini and Michael Felsher. You learn, it really seemed to me like Savini wanted to make Dario Argento's Night of the Living Dead on a nickel and dime budget, and he was getting shot down by Romero over ideas. He was getting shot down by the producers over ideas. And but he had some pretty, I think maybe he was too ambitious. But then it also kind of seemed like Romero was just I don't know. If it just kind of seemed like he was there, but he didn't want to be. He really didn't want to have anything to do with it, yet at the same time he didn't want Savini messing it up, so he had to sort of slap his hand sometimes and say, no, don't do that, no, you're not going to do that, no, you're not going to do that.
It has to be weird, you know what I'm saying? You don't really think about it a lot, but think about it. If you created something and then later on somebody came up to you and said, hey man, I want to redo that, and then you just stand over them while they redo your thing. It's got to be weird,
Well, and the whole reason they went with the remake wasn't because they thought it was necessary. They were going to update it for the late 80s, early 90s to make a social message. They were making that movie in hopes that they could regain the rights to the original. So that was the whole purpose of making that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of to make money for that they missed out on.
Yeah,
so long ago. Yeah,
that, and because they thought,
that could be
make another Night of the Living Dead, they could somehow get the rights back to the original. Which the fortunes that they all had to miss out on because it went into public domain immediately.
There's an argument there, though, because going into the public domain so quickly is what made the film so accessible to so many people and made it a constant on television. The question is, would it have been as big had it not gone into the public domain? It's hard to know because it happened so early on.
Yeah.
But still though, even though you're right, in hindsight, the people who made it are butthurt that they didn't get all that money.
Absolutely.
Big time.
That would still sting me 40 years down the road. Yeah, that would still bother me.
I don't think that they shouldn't have made a remake. Although I would argue that Romero probably just should have continued making his Dead movies. However, he needed to do it. Go back to the Italians or whoever would have continue to finance rather than take the break he took. But I think my issue with the remake is that when it's not doing something different, the original just has it beat. And when it is doing some things different, I really disagree with the change. The first film does a really, really legitimate job of portraying trauma. Barbara is legitimately traumatized like she should be. Ben has his own things going on. Like when he's kind of breaking down as he talks about the struggle at the gas station, the diner gas station. Like he's not an action hero like guy. He's done what he needs to do, and you can see all the anxiety on Dwayne Jones's face. I mean, I just all that got missed, and it's not because the actors weren't great. It's a great cast for the remake, but it just doesn't hold a candle. And to me, the original Night of the Living Dead is sacred territory. It's in my top 25 films, right? So it's like, if you're going to bother doing it, you got to get it right. And while it's not as bad as some remakes have been since, certainly, I really hate that they took some of my favorite components of the film and just flushed them away. I hate Barbara becoming an action hero at the end of that film. It doesn't play right to the character. It demeans the gravity of the situation. I can't strongly that if it was a different film and a different character, I wouldn't have a problem. But as a remake of that, it's kind of demeaning. When people say, "Oh, I don't like Barbara in the original because she's so weak," she's not weak. She watched her brother get fucking murdered in front of her a couple hours before the end of the film.
And now she's in
mortal danger.
An apocalypse. Yeah.
And relying on the goodwill of a stranger that society would tell her in every step of the way she should be wary of.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard if you're growing up today and seeing that the original Night of the Living Dead, it probably doesn't play for you, and that's fine. But for anyone who saw it at a more robust time in our history, I think it's an amazing film. It's one of the best the genre has ever produced, and I just don't think the Savini film is anywhere near that.
No, well, I like both of them. I think that I like the turn on its head that they do with Barbara in the remake. It's kind of a different movie. It's not as good.
But do you think that's
more
earned?
Fun.
Do you think it's earned?
Yeah.
I think
her being a badass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a subversion of expectations. That's all.
Well, it is. But is it true to the character? Is it even true to the character of the first?
No, it's a subversion of your expectations. That's.
I think.
I like.
I don't necessarily see it as her like turning badass. I mean, like she loses her mind, and to me, it's almost like she wakes up. Like, okay, I'm in this apocalypse. Johnny's dead. If I'm going to survive, I've got to kill or be killed. And she's crazy at that point. She's lost her mind at that point. So I kind of see it as I've always liked that about it. And I think Patricia Tallman was so good in that. Like so freaking good.
Actors are
I like the one more for the fire. Is that the line or whatever?
Yeah, I heard at the
end.
I
love that, how they switched that to where.
Yeah. And yeah, she I thought she was so good. And yeah, I've always thought it was, I don't know. Yeah, I'll say I think it's earned. I'll say I think it's earned.
I've always just kind of seen it as like a what if her reaction to the situation had been different?
Yeah.
What if she was a slightly different person, or you know what I'm saying? It's just an alternate like thing.
Yeah, but yeah, the cast in that is so good. Like Tony Todd is great in it. Tom Towles, William Butler. Like what a career William Butler has had. He's been killed by Leatherface, Jason Voorhees, and I in my review I was like, I know he was in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares and he died, but I don't remember if it was Freddy who killed him or not. So possibly Freddy Krueger killed him also, and he dies here too. The zombies don't kill him, just poor decision making kills him, but the zombies eat him afterwards. It's like, what a freaking resume. You know what I mean? My goodness.
And then he killed the Return franchise.
Well, I mean, he wrote those. He wrote those, yeah. Whether they were
supposedly they were better than what got made. But
well, at the time he was writing those, I think, for Toby Hooper to direct, and then things got shifted around. So, but
I kind of like Rape to the Grave, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh.
I only saw those once, and I kind of.
The worst thing they do, and it's a pretty big bad thing to do, is they forego the like zombie lore of that universe in place of like headshots. That's pretty dumb. And that was obviously for like the mainstream zombie audience, so that they're like, well, you're getting shot in the head. But like
the second film doing the electrocution is the only thing that kills him is equally dumb too. That whole series is like, again, the first film is so superior to anything that comes after it. It's just as bull. I mean, I kind of like the second film for being the dumb horror comedy that it is. I don't like the third film, which everyone else does. I get it.
I don't like the. I'm not a big fan of the third film either.
Oh,
he's my jam, dude.
We agree.
I don't mind the third one. I kind of like that one.
You just like seeing naked zombie girl.
Baby. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she was pretty hot.
She was,
but you don't.
Also, you've got Screaming Mad George effects, like.
Yeah, but they look like Screaming Mad George effects in every Return of the Living Dead's film.
Exactly. Like weapons with the zombies. I kind of like that. You know.
No. You know what the thing is though? Here's what I really wish they had done with that franchise, and I think there's a golden opportunity. The first film, music and culture of its time is so important to that movie's look and feel. How cool would it have been if the 88 film had embraced what was happening in music in 88 in culture directly, made it central, and then the third film could have been really the slacker Gen Z.
Well, I would argue that you can see that they tried to put that in there. It got lost in translation, but it was 100%. They were dealing with the issue of cutting. Those kids were grunge kids.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about to the degree. I'm saying to the degree of the first film.
Oh yeah,
the first film is completely about the LA punk scene, even though it's set in Kentucky, right? It's completely about the LA punk scene, and I would love to have seen that. I mean, do the hair metal late '80s film, do the grungy '90s film. I would have loved that. I think, and I would even title the films after the year they come out. Because I mean, Return of the Living Dead 1988 should have like Slaughter and Skid Row all over that soundtrack as loud as possible.
It's got Michael Jackson for a second.
I hate that. That's something that should get cut out of that movie.
Could you imagine the late '90s version, like the new metal Return to the Living Dead?
I'm down for that. I think that would be the Woodstock '99 version of Return of the Living Dead. Would be an amazing film.
And Fred Durst is the hero.
No, now you've gone too far.
Yes, Fred Durst is the hero.
You had to ruin it.
No, I made it better.
With special help by Aaron Lewis from Sting.
Exactly.
And there was an acoustic guitar.
And that motherfucker from Lost Prophets.
Oh God.
I just think that series would have been better to notice how much music was part of the character of the first film. And to embrace that all the way. The second film has a good soundtrack. It's just all over the place. It doesn't have a central idea. You can't have Julian Cope on the soundtrack. I love Julian Cope, but I'm not sure you can wrap a film around him. The way that 45 Graves, The Cramps, The Damned, I mean, come on.
No filmmaker is skilled enough to reimagine spookies. It's just not going to happen. Just not going to happen.
There has to be a schizophrenic somewhere out there, right?
Not to that brilliant level of schizophrenia. Oh Lord. Well, Lauren, we're getting a Return of the Living Dead remake, so maybe this will be, the one.
That one does actually still kind of make me mad.
It's from the director of what was that movie? Fog is in the title of it, which I kind of liked. Which it's cheap and dumb, and I kind of liked it. So maybe it has hope.
I think I did see
Fog
that.
City. Fog City.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Killer Goats, dude.
I didn't. See
well, I haven't seen Killer Goats, but
Killer Goats is not good.
I'm sure. But Fog City, I kind of liked it. It's kind of ridiculous and stupid, and I kind of enjoyed it. So maybe it has some hope.
What's up, Parker? Thank you, sir. Yeah, my word. Let me see if there's anything else on the docket. Yeah, we talked about the limited editions. I don't know. It's I don't know. Hopefully Sony will do like a reissue, maybe like just a standard edition reissue of that for people, because clearly the demand was more than there for it. So if they don't, I mean, they're missing out on some money.
They're gonna burn them on demand like they did that DVD this whole time.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, didn't the Keep do something like that, where they released it and it was limited edition and that sold out, and then they released a lower, like a Blu-ray of it or something?
I mean, that's the industry formula lately. By now, you might not ever get another chance, and then like 2 months later,
$45
for half the price.
Yeah,
I mean, FOMO is real. FOMO is a real thing. There's no doubt about it. FOMO is a real deal. I do want to mention that if you missed the retrocryptco.com spot at the beginning of the stream, do not miss out on the Samhain sale. And the Samhain sale is beginning October 3rd until when, Chris?
13th to the 31st.
Oh, the 13th. I'm sorry. I've been saying the 3rd. The 13th through the 31st is the Retrocrypt Co. sale. And what can we expect from that sale, Chris?
13 to 30% or 31% off all of your favorite products.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm bad at
well, luckily we have this.
It's time once again for the Retrocrypt Samhain sale. Experience spooky savings that will send a shiver down your spine, like these shirts from the Halloween Shirt Company, Creepsville 666, and more. We also have purses, socks, and other accessories that will make your blood run cold, as well as masks, toys, and creepy curiosities that will get under your skin. All at 13 to 31% off from October 13th to the 31st. Don't miss out. Get to www.retrocrypto.com before it's too late.
There you go, folks. There you go. I just dropped the link in the chat if you're interested. Bookmark it, or just buy stuff now and then buy stuff later too. So
Chris,
I cringe every time I hear that voiceover. I'm like not a voice actor.
It's fine.
I was gonna say that's pretty good. I actually like the good quality. Yeah.
If you've ever heard yourself try to like imitate voice acting, it like makes you squirm when you hear it. You think you sound, because like, you know, you're hearing yourself.
You could have hired Jonathan to do like a rap over it.
That's true, man.
You know, that would have got you some sales for sure. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we call it a night? Anybody in the chat got any questions or comments or anything? Go ahead and throw those out there now. Is all of your all's local Spirit Halloweens open?
Ours is not yet.
No.
I'm like, I don't even know why they're gonna open. Like, they're gonna, at this point, it feels like they're gonna open like the second week of October.
Like, yeah, what's the point then? Yeah, what's the point? Why haven't they opened it yet? Is the building like?
I guess they're just having some internal troubles. I don't know, man.
Wow,
they can't get their stuff together out here.
Ours opened like 3 weeks ago.
Well, now, Swaggy, did you put in a job application there? Because we talked about that last time. That'd be a good place to find some goth girls.
Yes. I did go in there and I made a couple of purchases, but nothing on that level caught my attention.
Listen, get a black handkerchief and offer that to a goth girl.
It's got to be like silk.
Yes.
With your like initial embroidered into it with like
it's like a Dracula move.
That's what you need, man. That is what you need. Let's see here. That Retrocrypt video is awesome, says Tony.
Thank you.
The Long Walk. Has anybody seen that? I've heard good things.
I heard they did some kind of gimmick where you had to walk on a treadmill while you watched it, and if you stopped, you were out. You had to like leave the theater.
Well, I mean, that'd give you a reason. You know, if the movie sucks, just be like, just stop. You know.
We were debating, like how, because I think it was like 3 miles per hour. You had to keep that pace, and if you stopped, you had to leave. And it's like, would that be hard? Because it's like a slow pace, but it's for however long the movie is without stopping at all. To even just like catch your breath a second or let your muscles rest. Like, I bet it would be tougher than you think.
I couldn't do it because I can barely make it halfway through a movie without like bursting at the bladder to go pee. So I mean, I couldn't do it just on that alone, really. But nobody's seen The Long Walk. Apparently, nobody's watching The Long Walk because it's tanking pretty hard at the box office. I don't think I read that Bachman story. I don't remember. I must not have read it.
I've read it. I mean, back in the day. It's fine.
The one they need to make is The Rage.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know it's never going to happen, but that's the one that they should make.
Not even in print. So.
Yeah. Parker wants to know Halloween plans you guys are excited about. Anybody making Halloween plans yet?
I mean, mine are always usually pretty similar. I usually get like a pizza and watch movies. We don't get trick-or-treaters anymore. That used to be a big part of it. Handing out candy. That sadly is gone, but I can still like watch movies and eat pizza and candy.
Every year I always want to decorate outside in my yard, but I'm kind of lazy. And so like I'll go to Lowe's and you'll see a bunch of cool stuff and I'll be like, man, that'd look really nice, but then I just never get around to doing it.
I'm trying to build mine up to like eventually, like maybe when I'm like 70, I'll have like a legendary yard, but I'll get like a thing every year or every other year, depending on how it's going, and like add to it. This year I got like tombstones, like because I always get styrofoam ones and I hate them.
That's what I got.
Tried to build some one time and they were okay, but I bought like some blow mo, like they're probably gonna last for a while. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And any Halloween tradition you'll be upholding this year, Lauren?
I mean, we've talked about this before, but I enjoyed the season more than the day.
No, yeah.
So I'm trying. I don't know if you guys have seen the Regal list of all the horror movies they're showing for the month. There's one a night for the entire month of October. It's insane.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Let me see if I can find the list real quick because it's
like 31 days of screens or something.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Oh, the Movie Room has copies of Night 90 up for sale. A bit pricier than the initial Amazon price. I'm not familiar with the Movie Room. I think no, I've heard of them. Yeah. I've seen people do unboxings.
So here's what Regal are throwing out at this for the month. Toby Hooper's The Funhouse, Candyman, Friday the 13th Part 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, The Strangers, New Nightmare, From Dusk Till Dawn, An American Werewolf in London, It, Army of Darkness, Sleepy Hollow, Silver Bullet, Creepshow, Prince of Darkness, Final Destination, Hereditary, The Exorcist, The Witch, Demon Knight, Event Horizon, The Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Mummy, Bride of Frankenstein, The Ring, unfortunately the American, Rosemary's Baby, and for Halloween night, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
So if you have free evenings, that's definitely there. I also suggest getting some Monster Mini Golf if the franchise is anywhere near you, because that's always a fun time. And then hit I definitely want to hit the pumpkin patches for all that good stuff. Get your apple cider donuts and just enjoy the season. Hopefully we have a good foliage year with changing leaves. I love all that. I love brisk air for the first time of the season. Really all that stuff. I am a candy corn guy, so that there'll be a bowl of candy corn on my center island in my kitchen. All that is what I love.
Are you a pumpkin spice fan?
I'm indifferent to pumpkin spice. If it's there, it's fine. I don't dislike it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way for it either. But I love.
I have a weird Halloween specific treat, and I don't think anybody else does. But for me, for some reason, snowballs.
Oh, I love snowballs.
Indicative of Halloween, and they're the only time of the year that I eat them.
I love snowballs. I don't remember ever getting
I got
snowballs.
one as a kid, and it just like stuck. But yeah, for me, snowballs and Halloween are like hand in hand.
Well, speaking of the apple cider, you know, some of that good stuff right there. Let me tell you. Yeah. So yeah, I think next month for the October stream, should all come dressed, right? In costume, Swaggy wrapped up as the Invisible Man. Chris, maybe you could be I don't know, Wolfman Jack. Who? A hobo. You know, Lauren, you could come
shoe polish.
Lauren, you could come as the Bride of Frankenstein or something.
Yes.
Living out a weird fetish, and I don't want to.
You just need a wig with the white stripe in it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you love that movie.
It is my favorite film of all time. It is the best film ever made.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
I'm probably more of a Dr. Pretorius at this point in my life.
Okay, Dr. Pretorius it is.
Bald and spindly and spouting nonsense.
Ben Grimm says goth girls dig Halloween decor. That is true. That is very true. Earbud just died. Dr. CZ Death, Chris says Cursed City Con is this weekend in San Antonio. Right? All right. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Do a long walk live stream on a treadmill. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting. I would like to visit horror filming locations on Halloween. That would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, a lot of these channels are you know, already, you know, and I mean October is next week, so
highlight for me is VHS Halloween. By the way, I'm so stoked for that.
That's the third, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, that's the third. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
It's like a tradition now.
Yeah, it has become a tradition for sure. Well, I mean, I guess we can go ahead and wrap things up here. Let me do a quick shout out to Killa Cosplays for the super chat. Appreciate that. Let me do some shout outs to Lauren, are you excited for this new Bride movie they've got coming out?
I've been down this road before. So I mean, yeah, this is far from the first time the Bride of Frankenstein has been remade in one form or another. And listen, it's not realistic that they're ever going to make a film that's anywhere near the original. I'll take it for what it is. If it disappoints me hugely, it does. I'm going to try and take it as its own movie, though.
Well, I think the Bride with Sting is really close, though. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you'd agree with me on that one.
You don't like the
that was called The Bride, isn't it?
It was just called The Bride. Yeah.
It's not good.
I didn't even know the trailer was out. I do know the trailer.
You haven't seen it?
No. I do know the trailer for Benicio del Toro's Frankenstein.
It's not what you think it is.
I'm not sure what to think about it.
Is this the one with Christian Bale as the monster? Oh, I saw a photo of him as the monster though. So yeah, they're doing like some sort of it's an updated.
Well, it's like it's like a couple on the run like crime movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only thing I can think is why even make it Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein because like if you remove that aspect, it's the same movie almost just from the trailer.
So it's true
like
romance, but with the bride and the monster.
I mean, kinda like that's what it looks like, and I'm not sure how to think about it.
That's odd.
I just, I don't know. it doesn't make any sense to me. Again, as much as I'm saying 40 films 40 years on shouldn't be being like attempted to be legacied, we don't really need things 80 years old being legacied.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I will say though, on that extent, I did make it down to Epic Universe, and I rode the Monsters Unchained ride 3 times, and it is the most impressive dark ride ever made. If you are a classic Monsters fan, it is a must-see. Now, there's not going to be much more for you in the park, unless you do love Nintendo or Harry Potter, and I don't. But that ride itself is the most amazing dark ride ever, and it does. While it doesn't channel exactly what the original film, original Universal classics were, it updates them in a way that makes perfect sense, and it's completely respectful. So,
I really want to get down there and take Jeremy to that. I think he would. Well, I would love it, and I know Jeremy would too. Seeing the classic monsters and that stuff, he would just be in heaven.
I will say spoilers that they sell Bride of Frankenstein merchandise all over the place, and there's a live action actor that has photos taken with her and the monster. She is not actually in the ride at all. She's like the big omission, so the head scratcher of it, because they're selling her merch everywhere, and she's not even there for a moment. But you do get a lot of cool stuff. Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera is recreated incredibly lovingly. The Creature from the Black Lagoon makes a brief but very cool appearance. It's a great ride. It's a great ride, and it does tell a story. It's not just a bunch of boo. Unfortunately, there's not a lot else in that part of the park. There's a werewolf roller coaster, which I found annoying because I like roller coasters to be roller coasters, and now all new roller coasters have to do all these like weird stop, start, backwards, up, down things.
Right, yeah.
Instead of just a ride.
Yeah.
So I didn't love that, but Monsters Unchained was pretty dope.
Awesome. Well, Tony, tell Timmy I said hi and thanks. Let me do some shout out.
Can I point out? Sorry, Jimmy and Stiggs. McCora mentions that. Have y'all seen that? It's beautiful.
I have not.
I don't think so. No.
It played in theaters for a second, but when it comes out, I highly recommend it. It's on my current favorite working director, and
okay,
it's just beautiful.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for that. All right. Well, let's see. Swaggy, where can we find you on social media, sir?
I'm only on Instagram and just kind of post about movies, but it's John's Cool World. Check it out. Right now I've been doing a lot of Goosebumps stuff. So,
okay. Getting into the Halloween spirit.
I'm going through the entire series. I'm on book number 15 of the original series. Yeah.
Okay.
How they holding up for you, man? You like those big twists and chapter? He does all the time. There's a monster right in front of me, and then you turn the page and it's like it was a toy.
Yeah, I've learned that there's a big formula. There's always somebody has moved to a new house or a new school or a new neighborhood. There's always somebody that's a prankster who likes to play jokes on somebody, or somebody's easily scared, and some of them every now and then they'll teach you there's a life lesson involved in it, but obviously I remember growing up, the book fair would come to your school, and I mean, not that we didn't buy all these books, but it was like, oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I used to destroy Goosebumps books. My mom got pissed after a while. She's like, "You've got to quit reading these things," because I'd read them in a night.
Yeah, and the covers, the cover art really popped at you, and
yeah, that was sorry, I could go on about this all day, but that's attached to the video store. Looking at horror art, you got that on the book. It was all part of it, man.
Is R.L. Stine still alive?
Yeah, he's still kicking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's by the way, I want to throw this out there. I made a video about, he had a show called Haunting Hour, and it had an episode or 2 episodes called Pumpkinhead and Return of the Pumpkinhead. Nobody talks about it. I made a video about it last year, and this year, in like a couple weeks, they're releasing a movie based on that. And I have to believe that R.L. Stine watched my video. So you're welcome that we're getting taking full
catalyst. That's right. I've never heard of that. I have to look up that.
Well, tell everybody where they can see all of your videos, Chris.
On Slasher Home Video on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And you've got it. And you've got that new video coming out tonight at midnight Eastern time, 1 p.m. 1 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
So
more Halloween TV episodes. And also retrocrypto.com, which is my business.
Don't miss out on the big sale, October 13th through the 31st. Lauren, where can we find you on social media?
Well, don't worry about me. At the moment, I'm going to ask you all to go and follow at Fractured Mirror Publications, my publisher, because very shortly, I believe there's going to be some movement that you might want to be aware of.
Okay.
Additionally, Region Free starts its 5th season on the Visit by Voices network, Visit by Voices 1 on YouTube. On the 13th of October, there is a short prequel film to set up the season that should be premiering a week before that. It is animated, it's dark, it's not funny, and it's been a lot of work. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that, and we'll be checking out what's going on at Fractured Mirror Publishing. Horrors galore. You got your own date night mic mask. You're in the mirror doing the Mick Foley bang bang. Nice.
That's a coveted beast to own, man.
That is for sure. So let me do some shout outs here. McCorder, thank you for hanging out with us. Alan, thank you. Our old pal Jess, Cable Channel 11. Big Ideas 3. Eyes Free, thank you for hanging out with us. Our pal Chris, we hope you get to feeling better soon. Sean, my old pal Parker, RSO Media, Austin Wilcott, Barney Likes Beer. Let's see, who else did we have? Oh, my buddy Horror Orman was here hanging out with us. I know Orc was here a little while ago. Hillbilly Tech. Yeah, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. And thank you, fine gentlemen, for hanging out with me and shooting the bull and talking about all the things that need to be talked about. So, but anyway, y'all have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care. And until then, peace.